Yo! Good evening, YouTube people. We're gonna do a quick look at a new Joyo product that I received in the mail that apparently has been out for a little bit, but you know, hey, now I got it. Why do I need to get things quickly? I don't. I can see something right there. I have to show you that. I actually did convince Leslie to go and see Star Wars with me on Saturday, in English, of course, because otherwise it's stupid. And she can't tell apart, you know, Star Wars and Star Trek. It's all just crap to her with spaceships. I love the woman. But she came today and she got me these. How cool is that? They're actually slippers. They're Vader slippers. How cool is that? You know what? We need to... I can't. I want to wear them, but they're tied together. Well, later. So we're looking at the Joyo Power Tune, which is a concept that can be great. It's a tuner. It's a power supply with quite a bit of balls. Of course, how do you test the power supply? Yes, we had these videos where we look at, you know, do they hum, whatever. Do they really deliver clean power? Meaning, do your pedals sound the best they possibly can? That's always that's very difficult to do in a video. So I'm not going to do this. We're going to hook it up a little bit. We're going to see if it can power the Strymons. We're going to look at the tuner part. So we're just going to check it out a little bit, but not super mega in-depth on a board with everything because it's difficult to do. We're definitely going to do the coil test that we did for the Chuck's power supplies that we got, or in the Chuck's video, where we take a wah-wah and we move it over the power supply to see if there's any interference, because very good power supplies have less interference. So, this is the box, comes with cables. Let's see what they actually give us. They give us a little manual, which, as far as I can say, yep, I wrote that, I guess. Yes, looks like this is the text that I wrote. I don't think I wrote that. So, hey, this is really small. That's what she said. Okay, I'm definitely impressed. Ooh, I can pull this off. Ooh. Oh yeah, oh, it's really tight. Oh yeah, that's what she said. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, usually power supplies are kind of heavy. This is light. That is because this is actually what's driving it. So I highly doubt that this is isolated, because this is actually the power, which is just a normal power supply 3 from Joyo. And that looks like it's kind of like a daisy chain. So it's not an isolated power supply, just to start with that. And then the big question is, when the guitar signal goes through here, will it affect it? Well, technically not as much as a normal power supply would, because the actual power supply is here. This is pretty much just like a daisy chain, which again, depending on the board, might be cool. So we have 8 outputs altogether. We have 6 of them, each with 100 milliamps, and 2 of them each with 500 milliamps. And we're obviously going to put that to the test and see if that is true. It's kind of a silvery white. It's kind of neat. So let's look at the cables. I'd like to give you a price for this, but I can't. I literally do not know. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cables. And 2 that look like they could be polarity reversing cables. Now, let's check something. Because when they asked me about this, I said different length cables, because it's completely ridiculous to have this in the corner of your pedal board and then have the same length cables, because very likely this will be the first in the chain, meaning it's going to be on the right of your board. So some pedals need short cables, some pedals need longer cables, because it's not going to be under the pedal board in the middle in a star-shaped distribution. And I said you need different length cables. So bear with me while I unwrap these. So we need some shorter ones, some mid-length ones, and some longer ones. Some quite longer ones, because if you have a 60 by 30 or 60 by 40 pedal board, like the Joyo PBB or the what's it called, the like the Novo 24, which is 60 by 40, you definitely want cables that are at least 60, probably more like 80 long, so that you can go all the way diagonally across your pedal board. And I'm getting a feeling here that, you know, communication with China is difficult. Getting a feeling here that some stuff got lost in translation, because all these cables have the exact same length. Let's see. One more. Well, we're gonna untwiddle them all. Let's see. Having cables of exactly the same length is not a realistic set of accessories for a power supply, especially if it's going to be hosted in the bottom right corner, because technically it would be the first in your chain. So what do we have? All the cables are exactly the same length. So I'm sorry. I told them not to do that, because your first pedal might be right next to it. So you have this. So what? That's way too long. Then you have a pedal on top of it. Way too long. You have a pedal in the corner of your 60 by 40. It's not. It might reach. It might be long enough. But since they are normal cables, totally standard, this is of course an easy thing to replace. So I'm gonna put this over here so you can see it from above. From above! Like me. And we're gonna plug this in. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but hey, you don't have anything else to do, right? Because you're watching me talk about power supplies. So this is your wall wart. We're gonna put this under my table. I've got a plug right here. So now it's definitely bright. Let me change my angle here. Wait, angle. It's definitely bright, so that's cool. True bypass, okay, why not? Technically, just have the tuner on all the time. Let's get here over here. I'm gonna plug it in again so you see what happens. Nice. Let's start with testing the tuner function. I'm gonna grab my new puppy here, my DC from Harley Benton, the one I built myself, for 89 bucks, and it's purple and blue and stuff. So clearly not happening here. Let's go and plug it into my Mesa Mark 525. You can still see that, right? Yo. Can we hear that? No, we cannot, because the channel is not open. Now it is. Yeah, I'm not recording that. You're just hearing the camera audio. I'm sorry. Okay, when you turn it on, it automatically mutes, so you can only tune when it's muted. Okay. I would have liked this to be, you know, optional, because I like to hear the guitar. So if I'm on a stage, obviously tuning quietly is a good idea when you're playing live. Nice big blue. It is definitely one of the biggest displays I've ever seen for a tuner. So there's no calibration, it's always 440. There's no drop tune, no E flat, no D, no anything. Which, if you ask me, fine with me. It's all I need. It's always chromatic. Oh, I want to see what happens. So D sharp. Okay, it doesn't show E flat. Shows E, obviously. Tuner works precisely. Huge display. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Ah, that's the cap clone that's still on. I was wondering, why does it sound like that? Because it doesn't sound like my speaker, but it sounds pretty damn good. If it's only slightly driven or clean, the cap clone actually delivers pretty nice nice sounds on the Mark 525. But that's not what we're doing here. So good. Tuning it can. Tune it can. Let's find out how we're gonna do this. I need a longer cable. So realistically, what we're doing now, I'm going into the power tune, I'm going out of the power tune, into the Mesa, and in the effects loop of the Mesa, I have some Strymons. I'm going to show you right here. Ah! Things are falling. So I got some Strymons right here, which are right now being powered by the DC5 from Chuck that's underneath. But we're going to power those two with the 500 milliamp outs. Of the power tune. Well, they turn on and that's fine. We can of course power my Mesa Grid Slammer. It gets power. Gonna smack a couple of Joyo pedals on the table right here. There's one. Yeah, this is, oh, another tuner. I didn't know I grabbed the tuner. That is actually the Joyo Iron Tune, which is also, same thing, very bright, very, very bright, and very quick and precise. I was definitely surprised by that. I didn't quite expect it to be that good, and it is. It is a pretty good tuner. So, this is total mess here. But it looks like everything's got power. What does it sound like? Well, obviously, wait. We can do this. We're going into the Grid Slammer. And that's going into the Mesa. So we got, these are not connected, but the Strymons are in the Grid Slammer is, let's see. Good. Ah, ripped out the cable. Me stupid. So, and there we are. Can you hear that? Let's see if I can crank that up a little bit. Can you hear that high feeping sound? I mean, compared to the useful signal, it's okay. I'm gonna disconnect the power on one of the Strymons. It's still there. Okay, the Strymon dig was disconnected and it disappeared. I plugged in the El Capistan, and there it is again. There's a high feeping sound, so what happened here? With the grid slammer, it gets louder now, the feeping. So yeah, that's that. Question is, if I don't go through here, let's see. So right now my guitar signal is not going through the power tune, but that high feeping sound is still being generated. So let's say I'm not going through it with my guitar. I'm going with my guitar straight into my grid slammer. Actually, no, with my haha. This is what we need to do. We need to hook up our wah. And go into the wah. Out of the wah. And now see what kind of interference we're getting. Well, none. Wait. Okay. It might be the Harley Benton wire, but it might also be that plug that is too thick as an angled plug to go in here. So right there, you kind of have to use the straight plugs on the power tune, because otherwise they won't all fit. So you can see if I go to the wall wart, that's where the interference is taking place, but that's not going to be on your pedal board. This is on your pedal board, and it is completely not doing anything because it doesn't have the transformer in it. Yes, I've learned things from Paul Chocks, from Siox or Siox or Chocks, but that feepy feep sound is of concern. Might not happen with your pedals. See, as soon as it disconnects the Strymons, it's all good. Each of the Strymons is actually pulling a lot less than 500. They're actually pulling about 190 each. We measured those. So it's giving you 500. We're only pulling 190, so it's not that we're like, pushing it too hard. That's what I gotta say. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed that all the cables have the same length, which is not very realistic. It's not very usable. You'll have to bunch them together and get them under your pedal board, and that high frequency feeping sound is not great. So that's it from me. You decide.